Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about why I think Sam Howell has looked like the real deal this offseason during training camp, joint practices, and during his 2 preseason starts. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video. And sorry if you guys can hear a little bit of a buzzing sound, some noise in my apartment, I don't know what it is, but still figuring things out. So let's get right into it. So over this offseason during, mini camp, OTAs, training camp, joint practices, and now the preseason, Sam Howell has really impressed. And not saying he is the real deal, but he's definitely looking that way so far. Even going back to last season, some of the Commanders players the defenders were saying like he on the scout team is giving us the best work when he is out there scrambling around, instead of Howell and instead of Heineke and Wentz. I mean, definitely wasn't Wentz giving him the best work. And then obviously in that Cowboys game, he had a couple mistakes, but he also had some really nice throws. Had a nice slant pass to Terry, or it was a crossing, I can't remember, which was a touchdown because he led him. Don't think Heineke or Wentz would have done that. Maybe Heineke would have. And then he had a nice deep ball to Terry for like 52 yards, I believe. A really, really nice throw, and had some other nice plays as well. Had a bad interception where he threw it in double coverage, I believe, to Cam Sims, and maybe a couple other bad plays, but was playing up against the Cowboys starters for the whole game basically, because they did have something to play for. And our receivers balled out as well, and the offensive line wasn't great, and he still did okay. And in the preseason so far this year, he has a 122.1 quarterback rating, 265 passing yards, 28 of 37, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 76 basically completion percentage, 7.1 yards per attempt, has gotten sacked I believe 3 times. So that's the only issue, has been the sacks. The offensive line in the first game wasn't great. This game they were better, and the first sack was 100% on Sam Howell. The second one, you could argue if it was or not, but probably still him. Going to watch the film back on that. QB School usually does a good job breaking that down, but that's really the only negatives from Howell. His decision making has been on point. He really hasn't thrown it into harm's way that many. I mean, I can't really remember that many times. And when he has, he's thrown a ball so well that, the defender can't get it. It's only where the QB or the receiver can get it, which is what Jeremy Reeves said he's been doing in practice. I think that's what he said. It might have been someone else, but he's been doing it was Kendall Fuller. Sorry, it was Kendall Fuller. But he's been doing a really good job, and a lot of tight window throws, like that throw to Cole Turner on 3rd and whatever was long, 3rd and 15. It was really, really tight window, a few defenders there. He threaded the needle, made a great throw, and he's made a bunch of those. Also hit some deep throws as well. The one to Diami was a little underthrown, but also if he would have overthrown it, it would have been an interception because he's into double coverage, but hasn't put the ball into harm's way that much. And I think honestly he played better in this Ravens game than he did in the first game. His grade on PFF was like a 71 overall, or 70-71, which isn't bad. It's good, but he got penalized, I know for sure, on that first sack a lot by PFF, because PFF, if you have one bad play, they're going to penalize you a lot. And the thing is, he had that bad sack that he took, and I understand that if he would have taken that sack and then they end up punting the next, let's say incompletion the next play and they punt on 4th down, I understand that. But what did Sam Howell do after that sack? He, made a great throw on 3rd and 15, and the sack ended up being irrelevant. It ended up being irrelevant, so I don't think he should have been penalized that much for that. Maybe slightly, but not that much. But that's how PFF does their grades. I asked Nick Ackridge about it. He responded. Shout out to Nick, really, really good guy, and does a good job with PFF and writing for the Commanders as well. But yeah, Sam Howell, 19 for 25, 188, and 2 touchdowns, 1 to Diami and 1 to Antonio Gibson. Love how they use Gibson on that play as a receiving back, and I think they need to use him like that way more. But shout out Sam Howell for his performance in that game. Let's see any other ones. Here is the Sam Howell to Cole Turner completion. So I'll show it to you guys in a couple different angles, and it might be a little bit blurry, and it might be a little bit cut off for you, but here it is. So there you see, that's a tight window. There's this guy here where he's not super close, but he's in somewhat the throwing lane, where if you lead him a little bit too much, he might, and if he has his hand out, he might be able to deflect it or break it up. And this guy right here is ready for the hit, and he just throws it in the perfect spot, absolutely perfect spot. And again, his head's going to be cut off a little bit because of the way I have it, but he goes out. Let's see. There you go. Drops back, and there you go. Third read right there, and then boom. There's not much separation there. And again, if he let him a little bit, I guess he's not really in the throwing lane as much as I thought he was. This angle is a lot better, but he threw it perfectly, man. Perfectly. And hey, it was a completion, and it was a big play. So that just an example of the good footwork, like Nicky says right here. Went through all his reads, found Cole Turner, and threw an absolute dot, a bullet, and he completed it. That's arm strength right there. That's arm strength. And some of the knocks on him has been the decision making, and you've seen that a little bit in the sacks, but I've also seen him, some encouraging plays with him throwing the ball away and not putting it in harm's way. So I thought I should point that out as well. And then let's see some other things. Madden has taken notice. They upped his rating from a 66 to a 70 after his performance yesterday, and I guess in the last preseason game. Still a little bit too low, but hey, it is what it is. I almost don't like that we played this preseason game on national television, because a lot of people watched us. And now some people that thought Howell was bad are like, okay, maybe he can be good this year. And I kind of wanted us, if it was going to happen, and if it's going to happen, for us to surprise some people, and how to surprise some people, because no one before this game believed in Howell outside of Washington fans. Not many people at all. Maybe a few, but not many. So I don't know. He's a 4 overall increase is crazy, and 66 was just way too low. So he'll get up there, might be a little bit higher before the season starts. I don't think, he doesn't deserve to be over 75. He started one game last year, but a 70 is so much more respectable. And again, who cares about Madden ratings? But I know some people do, but it's good to see him get a little bit more respect there. And then Eric Bieniemy had some praise for Sam Howell, so I'm going to go ahead and screen record that because the buzzing in the background, so you guys can see that.
You know what? I thought his progression has been right where you would like it to be. I thought he's just stayed the course. He's learned a lot just being out there each and every day. I think watching Jacoby go out there and sling it around, making all the throws and just letting everything, go free, that has helped him, because Jacoby is a outspoken individual in that room, and he's helped Sam tremendously. The thing I also like is that Sam, he auto-corrects, and you love that about him. And he takes it personal, he takes work home, and he loves to talk through all the little detailed nuances of the game. So I think he's right where he needs to be. He's done a heck of a job. I thought he did a good job as well in the practices, and he did a heck of a job in the game this past, whenever it was, just a day or two ago.
Okay, so that was what Eric Bieniemy had to say. Had some nice things to say about Howell, including, he's right where he needs to be. So, that's encouraging to see, and it's always, great to hear Eric Bieniemy speak. He's a really good talker, I believe, and yeah, I really have liked what his offenses look like and how he's helped Sam Howell and gotten the playmakers involved, putting Cole Turner in position for success, Terry, Jahan, Gibson as well, and it looks like he's developed Chris Rodriguez pretty well. Just the fumble was the only negative for C-Rod in the last game, but yeah, shout out to Bieniemy as well. Let's see, do I have another visual as well? No, but let's continue to talk. Do I think Howell is going to be elite this year? Heck no. If he is, that would be amazing. But I think his ceiling, this is not his ceiling forever. I'm saying this year. I would say realistic ceiling, considering, the tight ends we have, which, Cole Turner's maybe can be okay, but we don't know yet. And then the O-line, which, is definitely a question mark. I would probably say the ceiling is 15, which is average. And let's keep it real, guys. We have not had that in a very, very long time. So I would be absolutely ecstatic if Sam Howell was the 15th, 16th ranked quarterback in the league. If he was, in that category with, let's say, Derek Carr, Jared Goff is a little bit better than that. But guys like that, if he's in that category in basically his rookie year and you're paying him $600K, that is huge. The only way you really win with a rookie QB that is not elite the only way you win with a QB that is not elite is if they're on their rookie contract. Because Derek Carr is getting paid however much he is, and same thing with Daniel Jones. Sam Howell is getting paid like 1/70th of that. He's getting paid like $500K, whatever he's getting paid. It's like $1 million or less. And so you can build, you can sign guys like Deron Payne, maybe Chase Young or Montez Sweat next year, maybe Cameron Curl, and those other teams probably can't. And if you have an elite QB, obviously you pay him. But some of these other teams, I think it's questionable to pay a guy like Daniel Jones or Jimmy Garoppolo or even someone like Derek Carr. But, each team has their own situations. But if Howell can be an average QB this year, if he's a top 15 QB, let's say he's 14, 15, 16, we're winning double-digit games. There's no doubt about it. That's why I'm not predicting him to do that. I think that's his ceiling. But I think his floor is higher than what we've had in the last few years. I think his floor is higher than Wentz's, what Wentz did last year, what Heineke did last year. And I think his floor is probably like 25, which again is better than what we've had in the last few years. So I'm not going to official stat predictions, but if he goes 20 plus touchdowns and then less than 12 interceptions, that is solid. And you also have to factor in on the ground, he's probably going to get you 25 yards a game and then a few 4 or 5 touchdowns on the year, which also helps out a ton and factors in. So I think Sam Howell's going to be good. I think his performance this offseason, again, it's training camp, it's OTAs, it's joint practices, which he held his own in. He did well against the Ravens defense. And, preseason, even though it's just those things and we haven't gotten to games, his performance has raised my expectations for him. A little bit. Maybe not a lot, but a tiny bit because, he has performed well. So I would probably say, I feel better about him right now than I did entering the season, but still got football to play. I'm excited to see what Sam Howell can do. Feel better about him than I did about Wentz, Heineke, even maybe Fitzpatrick. I don't know. I was kind of optimistic about Fitzpatrick, and then he got hurt. And obviously, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. So that is it for today's video. Excited for Howell and excited for this team. We got a couple weeks away from this, 2.5 weeks until the start of the season, and we better get that win against Arizona. Peace out, guys.